Hey, Brandon, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I guess Coach Rod mentioned last year the first 4 or 5 games or so, he kind of attributed just the information to drinking water out of a fire hose. When did you kind of settle in, I guess, to everything? Did it take a couple games?
Um, I guess just to get your feet under you, as far as the feeling of playing in a live action game. But yeah, I mean, I guess a little bit. It took a while to get comfortable with like the scheme and everything, but I've never heard that expression before.
And then I guess to beat Wisconsin last year, did that give like a team-wide sense of confidence that the playing field or the talent is pretty even there, I guess? Or what did you guys take out of that game?
Yeah, with them being such a high-ranked team, it definitely gave the team a lot of confidence. When you can beat a team of that caliber, I mean, it's going to give you confidence going into the next weeks. As you saw last year, we rattled off three in a row after that. So I mean, if we can pull off an opportunity like that again, I think it'll speak volumes for our team going forward.
Thanks, Brandon.
Hey, Brandon, the last time you spoke with us, you mentioned, completion percentage was one thing that you were, maybe looking to, get better at this season. Do you have other areas where maybe you expect more from yourself just in year two?
Um, yeah, for sure. Just a little bit more consistency, um, and completion percentage goes a long way with that too. Just being more consistent with my reads, being a little bit quicker with that thing. I think just being in the offense a second year will help with that as well. But I mean, completion percentage can mean a lot, as far as moving the chains and, keeping the offense on the field.
I guess, your touchdown to interception ratio was pretty good last year. What do you attribute maybe that to the most?
Um, Honestly, I would have to attribute it to some of it has to go to Bebe, making plays in the back of the end zone, catching one-on-one balls. We should have had more. We had a few taken away from us last year. I remember in the Rutgers game, I know there was one that was reviewed for a little while. But, when you have guys like that can go and make plays in the red zone, it makes your job a lot easier.
Thanks, Brandon.
Hey, Brandon, a quarterback's greatest security blanket is his offensive line, and you've got a pretty good one. Talk about that group for me.
Yeah, we got a lot of veterans up front, guys that have played in a lot of games. Doug, he might be talked about as being a little undersized, but, Doug is one of the hardest workers on our team, one of the smartest guys on our team, knows football really well. And I think all the other guys on the O-line feed off of that. Vidarian and Palcho at our tackles are big, long guys that can secure the edge. And then KG and Vertus, they're also very strong, knowledgeable guys. Vertus is a younger guy that hasn't had much playing time, but I think he'll fit in real well with the older guys around him being there to support him. So, I mean, the sky's the limit with the guys we get up front. When it comes to game time, we just got to execute.
Thanks. Good luck on Friday.
Yep, thank you.
Hey, Brandon, thanks for being here. Could you tell us what your emotions are this week? Are there butterflies? Is there nervous energy? Is there something else? Quiet confidence?
I mean, definitely there's some nerves. I mean, you aren't human if there isn't any nerves going into this game. But, being able to control them, I think that's, something that you have to do. You can't let your nerves overcome your play on the field. But, for me, the best way you can do that is just coming to the game prepared, ready to go, knowing what Wisconsin's going to do, and expecting them to do some different things. The game plan is not always going to be clear cut. So being able to adjust on the fly too will be helpful. But I'm excited for this game. it's been a long time since we put on the pads and, you know, had an opportunity to compete like this.
Wisconsin feel like they have a sense of what you guys will do, at least on offense, or not. But there's new weapons, there's more players, there's more options. Is there an aspect for you where you're excited, kind of can't wait to show off and use what you have out there?
Yeah, we definitely got some. You know, we got some key guys coming back. But yeah, like you said, we definitely got some new guys that are going to play a big role for us. And again, I mean, for us, it's just about executing. It's not really about showing off or anything, but, you know, taking what the defense gives us and making the plays where they present themselves.
And the toughest challenge you might expect from Wisconsin on defense?
I mean, they got a good secondary. They're bringing some guys back. So, you know, always expect them to play good defense. Their front seven's always hefty, plays the ball well. So, you know, we're going to have to be good in protection and in route running. So all around, you know, we're going to have to be on our game and execute.
Thanks, Brandon.
Hey, Brandon, I just got one for you. Daniel Matorbebe, what does he bring to you as a weapon in the offense? How is he unique to what you guys have?
Yeah, he's a guy that can, you know, play on the ball, and he can be split out wide. You know, he's a big athletic kid. You know, he's a little bit taller than Josh, so, you know, he's another big target to throw to down the middle, make contested catches. He's got good hands, so I mean, he's gonna be a great fit for our offense and a weapon that we can move around as well. So, you know, when the time comes, we'll see.
Thanks, man.
Brandon, want to kind of follow up on that. Daniel, looking at guys like Luke Ford coming in, some of the transfers, Brian Hightower, Trayvon Sidney coming back from injury. How are you feeling in terms of a chemistry with some of those new weapons? Do you think it's going to take a little bit of time to actually get live game action to really get on the same page with some of those new guys?
Honestly, I don't think so, because we've had time, about 2 or 3 months, I think, to kind of work out those kinks. And also those guys are football savvy. They know the game well. They know how to get open. They know how to use leverage, all that stuff. So, you know, I'm not really worried much about that other than them, you know, executing and making plays.
Brandon.
Brandon, my question is about COVID protocols. You're going to be obviously playing a lot. You've got a starting role. You're a team leader. Is it difficult to get some of the guys who aren't going to see as much playing time to be as focused on the protocols as you are?
I think everybody knows what's at risk with everything. You know, if you test positive, you're out for 3 weeks. And, you know, Coach Levy's been huge on, you know, harping on the little things like that, keeping everybody safe. But, you know, as far as, you know, the team goes, I think everybody is bought into what we need to do to keep everybody healthy and have a successful year.
Has there ever been a time that you've had to say, guys, pull up the mask or anything along those lines?
No, I mean, JB's pretty good at that. Our head trainer, he's always on us about that. But, you know, for me, I don't know. As long as guys are, you know, we're doing testing daily. So, you know, when they're in the facility, you know, I feel like it's a safe space for everybody to be, even if we don't have our mask on.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
Brandon, kind of along those lines, Purdue just found out their head coach has COVID-19. How difficult would it be for you guys if something similar happened to either with Rod or Lovey? Can you imagine that? What it would to not have them there? What would that mean to you personally and the team?
Sorry, you're kind of like a little hard to hear. Like you said, if Coach Lovey or Rod were to get COVID.
Yeah, what would that do to you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it would be tough, but I think our staff, coaching-wise, is well-equipped for if things were to happen like that. I think we got guys on our staff that can step up and fill a role. yeah, it wouldn't be the same as having Coach Rod or Coach Levy because, they bring immense leadership and a lot of people look up to them for guidance. But at the same time, I think, the bond that we have with our coaches and with the players as well, all of us working together, I think that it'd be something that would be able to be pulled off, but it definitely wouldn't be an easy task.
Thanks, Brandon.
Yeah.
Hey, Brandon. Coach Smith mentioned that you were named a captain this year. What does that mean to you as a player and as a leader on the offense?
Yeah, it's cool to know that your teammates see you as a leader, as someone that sticks out to them and, gives them guidance on the field. For me, I've always tried to be a person that leads by example, does the right thing on and off the field. I've tried to work on being a little bit more vocal, but, my vocality comes to, approaching someone one-on-one, talking about what I want them to do, talking about what they're seeing, whatnot. I'm not going to be the type of person that gets up in their face and starts screaming and all that kind of stuff, but I'm more reserved with it. And it's cool to see that my teammates kind of feed off of that, being more reserved person. So, I think it's a cool accolade to have.
And last year, Rod Smith mentioned a few times that you have a sneaky quick aspect to you. Is using your legs a little bit more of maybe a vocal point for you this year in the offense?
I guess we'll see.
Thanks, Brandon.
Hey, Brandon. Coach Levy was talking about being such a big underdog in this game set by the line. And the line was set at like 21 points. What's your reaction to that big a line after you guys beat this team last year?
I think it's 23.5 is what I think it is. But yeah, when I saw that, it's like, wow, we're kind of getting, I don't know what the right word is, but but when you see that, you're like, wow, after what happened last year, we're returning a lot of guys. They lost some key players. Wisconsin's always going to have good people backed up as well. So, I guess we're just going to have to go prove them wrong again.
Hey, Brandon. When you watch Wisconsin's film, what do they do? What do they do that makes it challenging for offenses? And what do you guys have to do to be able to score points on Friday?
Yeah, we're going to have to be able to run the ball. They're really good in the run game. And, using people, whether it's from the safety position or from the nickel, getting more guys into the box. So, for us, it's going to be trying to manipulate those guys. And, playing to our strengths would be, being able to get the run game going. I think if we get the run game going, that, it's going to open up other aspects of our offense.
Do you feel confident if you had to throw the ball 50 times, could you do it?
Hopefully it doesn't get to that point, but, you never know with the ebbs and flows of games. But, if we had to rely on passing the ball more, you got to do what you got to do, and you got to be ready for any situation.
Brandon, what are you specifically seeing out of Isaiah and Matt behind you in the quarterback room that kind of gives you confidence that they're going to have, one, good careers, and two, could take over if something were to happen to you?
Yeah. Both of those guys have developed really well. Even though they're not in the starting role, they're really attentive to what's going on. Matt's done a good job of, leading the second offense this camp and making some plays. Same with Isaiah. Those guys have improved in their timing, their reads, and their footwork a lot as well. So, if something were to happen, I hope not, but I think that, with those two guys in that secondary role, I think we'll be all right.
Going back to your time at Michigan, what is critical in your mind, being in that role and just having to figure out how to get yourself snaps and get yourself prepared if and when you have to be called upon?
Yeah, when you're in that secondary role, it's more of a mental job. There's no vacations in that role. You got to take mental reps at practice because you're not going to get as much reps as a starter. So you got to be really keyed into, what the game plan is, what's going on there, what's happening here. So, it's more of a mental job than it is physical until it comes time for you to get into the game. So, they got to do everything the starting quarterback does as far as meeting wise. You got to get in there, watch extra film with the coach. You got to do all that stuff just to make sure you're prepared when your number's called.
Thanks, Brandon.
I think we're done.